there is a beautiful emotion that gets displayed, because that point, what they are telling to us as parents, has a lot of weightage for them. So I really understood myself along with my son that being a good listener, whatever the child says, it's not about doing or succumbing to what they say, but it's about hearing to them, really makes a lot of
I
difference
think
in the sense.
I think one of the things that a lot of parents do, which I think is probably not the right thing to do, is that we always assume the role of we have to fix it and we have to find a solution to everything. And instead of just listening, and sometimes the child just really wants you to listen,
Yeah.
and they really just want you to like really hear what they are trying to say. And instead of jumping to a solution, I think just listening to them and then allowing them to come up with the solution themselves is probably going to make them more vested and empowered in dealing with a lot of challenges that they have.
Hi, we are the Confident Communicator, and I am Seema Mehta, along with my partner Deepma Jadeja. Welcome to Imperfect Parenting. Together, let's get on a journey of discovering kindness, success, and happiness courageously, fearlessly, and by holding ourselves to a standard of grace, not perfection. It is our mission at the Confident Communicator to empower kids and adults discover their own uniqueness through our coaching, training, and soft skills program. We welcome you to a new chapter of Imperfect Parenting, a series dedicated to discovering our own uniqueness without judgment by chiseling away all superfluous materials within ourselves.
Hi everyone, this is Seema Mehta from the Confident Communicator, along with my partner Deepma Jadeja. Again, we're all looking very bright and wonderful today. Beautiful start to the day because we are having a wonderful conversation. In India, we kind of foster the idea of raising kids that are meant to be successful. But what is the definition of success? And if I want to make any change in my life, how do I impact that change? By changing myself first internally. Now, success, as per the Confident Communicator that we like to promote and talk about, is something where you uplift others. So we define leadership as uplifting others. We also like to impact change to the world. So we want to promote kindness, do things through innovation and technology and creativity and design thinking, where we impact change to society. And today we have a guest who has actually done a beautiful job of actually going through that internal change and impacting some change in society. So today we have Lakshmipraba, who's an environmental sustainability coach, and she's an author of almost 2 books. The second book is coming out soon.
And
is also right. And she's the founder of Prithvimitra, which is a consultancy and advisory service company that promotes waste management solutions, composting, and toxic free living. Now, you guys must be thinking we're going to talk a lot about environmental sustainability, which we will, of course. But we would like to talk to Lakshmi first about her own personal journey and how she came about creating Prithvimitra. And just tell us a little bit about yourself, Lakshmi.
Sure. Thank you so much, Seema, and thank you, Deepma, for having me on the show. And hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you all to share, my learnings, my experience on realizing myself.
Yes.
It's a sustainable environment. Not only that, it's a sustainable myself. It's a sustainable you that will bring about a beautiful change in whatever we are doing. So 8 years ago, my journey started with seeing a TV program on a Sunday as a family conversation. We were watching how the household garbage ends in a landfill, dumping that entire beautiful village and completely polluting the entire village, the earth, water, air, completely being polluted, burning, the groundwater becoming black, with the mixed waste, etc., that is a slap on my face. And that gave me a realization that, okay, so this is a problem of environment, climate change, garbage that I am seeing everywhere around me. So how can I be the solution for the problem of pollution? So I believe strongly in the mantra that change begins with me. How can I be the solution for the problem around me? How can I change things from my side? Because my household cover was also going and ending in the landfill, dumping and polluting. So that's where my journey of waste segregation started. Started with myself, my home, then moved on to my community, became a volunteer to implement waste segregation door to door. I stay in a 500 house apartment, and slowly I entered into the world of composting, then reducing plastic waste entering my house, then slowly entered into the world of natural cleaners because Bartur Lake and Belandur
Yes,
Lake
yes.
were burning in my
Yes.
city, Bangalore. And again, I started reflecting, how can I be the change, or how can I be the part of the solution rather than sitting back and complaining? Because for the
Correct.
city, the land, the water that has given me so much,
Right.
the beauty that I'm enjoying, I
Yeah.
felt it's my small bit that I need to do. So that's how I started Natural Cleaners, started from my home, then took it up to create awareness to the entire community.
Right.
So after 8 years of volunteering and being on the ground, serving to the community completely, my calling or I felt that the awareness on environment has to reach to 10 million people.
Yes.
Right.
I had been instrumental. When I say I have just been a medium or an instrument to execute all these things. So I've done a lot of courses for children on waste management because children are the future, and I believe in sowing the seed, being an
Early.
instrument.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes,
And
of
I
I think
love
that,
this,
yeah,
Lakshmi, how you're talking. So, first of all, kudos to your humility. You have done so much.
true. I
And
agree.
I just, it's just amazing how you're not taking the level of praise that I believe you deserve, but taking this one step further, because you talked about children, is, and Seema said it's great to start this early, sow the seed early so that it becomes a habit, because it takes a
absolutely.
while to
Yeah.
create a new habit. What kind of resistance did you face, or did you face resistance from your children, from your neighbors' children, from the youngsters, or were they on board right from the beginning? And then the second part to that question is, how small can you actually start so that our viewers can just start today? How can you do that?
Absolutely, Deepma. Beautiful. Thank you for your compliment. I have I have grown up seeing my father being very humble. This is a learning from my parents. I have seen, because he retired from a very high post in central government of India, but I know till date how humble he is. So that is something, it just observed and it just came. And there is a belief that, great leaders and very big people are very humble. That is the mantra. They are very grounded. And I tell my child also, but I can only convey this to my child. He observes. I can never impose to my child.
Yes.
And that's important, because even in our programs, we emphasize so much on empathy. It's again, going back to the point I had made earlier, is that we are creating a society where we are saying, oh, you have to be successful, you have to get great marks, you have to go to these best colleges, and you have to be the leader. But let's redefine what is leader. Because when you talk about humility, when you talk about having that sense of empathy for others, when you have the sensitivity towards what is happening around you, which is what you had, and you had the revelation, is when you start creating a purpose for yourself that not only uplifts others but also impacts the society. So I think that it is important for us as parents to create that environment, which, like in your case, your father has very successfully done. is to create an environment for our children to be empathetic, to have that sense of humility, and to create that environment of leadership where they uplift others. So yeah, I mean, lovely what you're just saying, Lakshmi. It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
And I hope that parents are inspired by that.
Yeah, I will deep dive into it. So coming back to Deepma's question, there is a saying that, small droplets contribute to mighty ocean. So, and there is also one more saying that says, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So any journey, whether it is sustainable journey, environment friendly journey, or any new initiative that you're taking, that first step is what that matters. And no step is small or big. So let us move it away from our thing that let's not compare with anything or anybody. Whatever step of change that I take or you take, that is great. Okay. So small steps probably that I would like to share with you is as simple as the waste segregation 3 types is a mandated law as per across India, it is mandated.
Yeah.
In fact, in many countries also, because it also contributes a mixed waste actually dumped in landfills or getting burned, releases greenhouse gases like methane, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, etc., which heats up the atmosphere, causing global warming. So you may ask a question, so how will it matter only one person following? No.
Yeah.
As I said, every droplet contributes to the mighty ocean. So one humble request is you at your own level, from your own house, follow the three levels of segregation of wet waste, dry waste, and sanitary waste, as simple as that. And small steps of change, like whenever you are going out, carry your own water bottle.
Yes.
Carry your
It's
own water
as
bottle.
simple as that, right? Maybe just put it in your phone as a reminder that you're going to carry your own water bottle, so you don't have to buy.
Absolutely.
It's again a mind shift, right?
This weekend, this past weekend, we went to Coorg, and I'm so happy to say that all of us carried our personal water bottle.
Awesome.
And I think we saved buying 6, 7, 8, 9 water bottles in the 6-hour journey that we took.
No, and Deepma, we talk about mindset all the time, right? Even in our classes, we talk about mindset. Everything is a mindset. If you decide something, if you have an intention to do something, if you want to make some change, then it's just a matter of, it's not a very big adjustment. A simple thing like carrying your cup to a coffee shop or carrying a water bottle.
Exactly. Awesome.
It's not so hard. I mean, I don't think we are kind of running out of excuses of saying, oh, it's too difficult to change. It's not. I mean, it's really simple. Our parents carried those cloth bags when they went shopping. Why can't we? I mean, I think that's something I'm very happy to say.
Absolutely. Yes, we are having a lot of awareness in Bangalore.
Yeah, in Bangalore, we have that. Yeah.
So some numbers I would like to share is, in the world, totally, there are more than 9 billion tons of plastic waste being generated.
Wow.
Out of that, less than 9% is actually recycled. Can you believe it?
Wow. That's terrible. That's a staggering number.
So where does it really go? All
where
the waste
does it go? Yeah.
In the ocean, spoiling the marine life. I would like to recommend to see the Plastic Island in Netflix, the documentary, which is very eye-opening. So please, whoever can, please do watch it. And of course, our drainages gets flooded with water bottles and plastics, etc., choking the drain sewage. And when it rains, it totally floods. So where does it come back? It comes back to us. What we sow, so we reap.
Yes.
So when we do a good to ourselves and the environment, we actually derive that good. So whatever is good for me is when I do good, that is what reaches the environment. So it is like a circle.
Yeah, it's like a vicious circle. Yeah, absolutely. But let's take 2 steps back, Lakshmi. How do I impact change? I mean, in your case, you mentioned that you were watching a program and you suddenly got this, sometimes this happens, right? You get this subtle realization about the purpose of your life and you start becoming extremely sensitive. It's not like as you were growing up, you never saw the garbage. You did see it, but there was one program that sort of inspired you and impacted that change.
Catalyze.
how do we as parents start raising kids that have that sense of sensitivity and awareness and start creating that impact from within? So what are the steps, if you may, to actually make that change internally? So because we want to raise kids who have that strong mindset of the right kind of leadership, the right kind of mindset that will impact change in themselves and as well as in the society. So what are the steps that you took, and what was your journey, and how can we inspire other children to sort of imbibe the same?
So my biggest thing, when I say my, it's me and my husband. We as we as parents.
As a unit.
As a unity. I have one son who's now 12 years old. I'm still perfect. I'm not a perfect parent. Very much, I'm an imperfect parent. But the main thing that I felt when I reflect along with you now, which I do it every day, I have started accepting myself first, starting the change within me first.
Correct.
The changes, whatever, when I work inside as a parent, because there is a saying that says it takes a village to raise a child. It's true. Whether it is a nuclear family or no. This saying, because I was reflecting this saying, what does it mean? Because earlier people used to live in joint families, etc. It takes a village to raise a child, because the child, first of all, is with their family, the child or children. Then they go to school. So there is also an environment there with their peers, with their teachers, etc. Say they go outside in the community where they're living. So they come across people, moving with them, playing with them, seeing around them, the friend circle, then the family is there. So they feel.
Correct.
So it's all about observing. And we as parents, myself and my husband, one mistake which I was doing is I was trusting whatever dreams or aspirations I had, I was thrusting on my child. But I stopped it when he was 3 years ago. When he was 3 years old. Because, that's where we broadened our perspective, started accepting the child as an individual, which is the truth.
And they may be very different from you, right?
Yes,
they may not be exactly like you. And that revelation actually sometimes can be very scary for a lot of parents when they realize that the child is thinking very differently from them.
Very much.
And that's something I'm amazed that when your son was 3, you got that realization.
That is when the inward journey or working on myself really helps in breaking the limited beliefs that I have grown up from my childhood.
Absolutely.
I don't blame my parents. I'm immensely grateful to my parents, because if not for them, I would not be here in this position. Okay. But whatever they have done, it is at their best capacity they have done. Now, God has given us the broader perspective to broaden ourselves. That's how it is shaping. So all that we started doing is to work on ourselves, which broadens, breaks the limited beliefs, breaks the fears. A leader leads, there's a difference between a leader and a boss. If you see the leadership qualities, they are amazing. You lead the show. How? See, I was last but one backbencher. I was not the backbencher, but last but one.
I love that. I love how you said, no, I wasn't a backbencher.
So now I'm very happy with the way I have shaped and become, founder and CEO of a company, running a company. It gives me, I see the success is like, recently I shared a post which says the success, what people can see is only the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
They don't know what is below. What is the struggles that are below? What is the pain that was below? What is the work that has happened?
What is the journey? Yeah, the journey is always hidden. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that happens only when I decide. I or you decide. Correct. Unless you decide, nothing will change.
Right.
It's a very true. It's not a bold statement. It's my own realization. So it's a very humble sharing that I would like to do. So coming back to parenting, how did this affect? As I told you, still it's imperfect, but we can see the child is very confident. The child has undergone a lot of bullying. I feel I'm fine with actually sharing with you people, because it is a subject where we have to encourage each child to stand up for themselves. It's not about running away or going into the hole, because I have undergone that struggle. I know the pain.
Yeah.
And
No,
now
and
I'm
then pain
confident.
makes you resilient, right? So the resilience and the grit comes from some of these very terrible experiences. And I think if we keep mollycoddling our children and protecting them all the
It
time,
doesn't work.
we
Yeah.
are not going to
Yeah.
be preparing them for the road. We are going to prepare the road for them. So I think it's important to
And that's
be very
dangerous.
careful. That's
Yeah.
very
It
dangerous.
is.
Yeah.
Because the world
I just remembered, I'm sorry, Lakshmi, just
Yeah,
a
yeah,
quick
please, please.
thing. I remembered a mantra that I have used throughout my parenting journey, and you're saying the exact same thing. My kids roll their eyes when they hear it, because Seema and I also, when we started the Confident Communicator, we constantly talking about being outside the comfort zone, because it's outside the comfort zone that the magic happens. Inside your comfort zone, you just keep doing the same thing over and over again. There's no magic, there's no change, there's no growth. So I remember my mantra that I used to talk to my kids about, which was do the hard thing. And I'd always say that to them, and they'd hate it all the time because they're like, oh God, mama's going to say that. But as they grew up and we started having more conversations rather than just instructions, we realized that it was when we were accepting and doing the hard thing that things were changing and we were being better people. So when Audible first came out and we started doing audiobooks and everything, I'd always tell them every day, do the hard thing, read. Don't just go for the easy, let's listen to the book kind of thing. When when the phones and the laptops came out, instead of typing, I'd say, do the hard thing. Why don't you write? Right? Now, when we're talking about sustainability, I'm starting to realize how important it is to say, do the hard thing, carry the water bottle, carry your own cutlery instead of using disposable, carry the cloth bag, like Seema said, instead of using the plastic that the vendors are giving you. These are the things that are slightly, just a wee bit more difficult, but do it. The reward will be much greater. And that's exactly what you're saying, right? Is that I identify the hard thing and then go do it. You'll appreciate yourself for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the accepting the child, for me, it was very difficult because I am a very overprotective mother, as all mothers are, but I am an overprotective mother. So I am literally breaking it, still learning, but I'm here. I think as there is a saying by James Clear, as James Clear says, even 0.01% improvement that we
Yes.
make every day makes a lot of difference in our lives and the lives around us. So that is what I'm seeing, that every day I'm learning from my child. The child is also observing what we are doing, and still it is imperfect, but it's good to do. Now, for example, I would like to show you one book. Yeah, so this is the book. Can you?
Because you have the virtual background,
It says between. Can you just read out the title? Between.
maybe put it in front of your face.
I will just probably show it to you. This is the book.
Between parent and child. Okay.
Yes. So this is a book by Dr. Haim G. Genot. And this is a wonderful book. My son has read it multiple times. And it's actually my husband got to read for himself and myself. This is the gist of the book is basically communication between the parent and the children. My son has read it multiple times. I don't know how many. Yesterday also he gave me, Amma, this is a fantastic book to know how to communicate between both of us.
Give
me
us
and
give us some
parent and child.
give us some
and all that.
nuggets from there. Give us some nuggets from there.
So,
What
sure.
Can you share
So
something from there?
yes, I've just started reading along with my child also. So basically this says that, understand the emotion behind a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
As simple as, a child comes and says, that person, maybe in the school or downstairs, my friend, I didn't like the way she or he has talked to me, and I'm not going out to play. This is the child says to the mother or the father. The mother, there are two scenarios, will say, oh, that's okay. we can forget it and move on. Or the other person might say, okay, fine. Now, when I ask my child also, there is a beautiful emotion that gets displayed, because that point, what they are telling to us as parents, has a lot of weightage for them. So I really understood myself along with my son that being a good listener, whatever the child says, it's not about doing or succumbing to what they say, but it's about hearing to them. Really makes a lot of difference in the sense.
I think one of the things that a lot of parents do, which I think is probably not the right thing to do, is that we always assume the role of we have to fix it and we have to find a solution to everything. And instead of just listening, and sometimes the child just really wants you to listen.
Yeah.
And they really just want you to like really hear what they are trying to say. And instead of jumping to a solution, I think just listening to them and then allowing them to come up with the solution themselves is probably going to make them more vested and empowered in dealing with a lot of challenges that they have. This is one of the things that we do in our programs as well, where when we are trying to teach a particular skill set, we try to do it in a way that we kind of ask them for the solutions. And the answers, when they come from the child themselves, they feel more empowered and they understand the lesson a little bit better. So I think it's a very powerful thing that you are saying, that listening is the first step. Instead of jumping to a solution, first listen to what the child is trying to say. That's great. Yeah.
Listening without judgment. Now, as I'm talking, it's an absolute reflection for me also, because I said every day is a learning and I'm breaking a lot of my limited beliefs, because my old self comes out, because I have grown up in a very conservative, very conditioned way.
Yeah.
I've never said no to my parents till my 30 years of age.
Yeah.
But my child has said no at his third year of age. You have to accept it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So we're in the sandwich generation, right? We had to never say no, and yet we always have to listen to no.
Yeah, that is correct.
Absolutely. So the point here is, as you rightly said, Seema, it's the empowering the child.
Yes.
Listening without judgment. That is very, very important, because from a child's point of view, that's a very huge thing they're coming and telling the parents. If not the parents, who will they tell?
Correct. Absolutely. And I mean, you should be glad that they're actually telling you something. As the kids grow older and get into the teenage and the post-teenage kind of a stage of life, that's not going to even happen. They're going to tell you less and less as they grow older. And I think if we allow that listening without judgment channel open, there is a very good chance that they will continue to have a healthy conversation with the parents. Like Deepa keeps talking about having conversations with children rather than nagging them and giving them a lecture. There's a big difference between these two. Instructional way of parenting versus conversational way of parenting is absolutely more empowering and actually better in raising kids.
Here I would like to share secret or something very surprising. So the children sense, any children, or even if you have a pet, we sense what the other person. So children are very pure, so they can sense the situation in the house or with the parents. So I realized when I was more calm and really opening my ears is when my son is very happy to come and open to me.
Exactly.
When I'm agitated, when the situation is not okay, he closes himself. He puts a wall inside him, around him. Yeah. I was shocked when I realized this. And then I consciously started taking steps to stay more grounded, thanks to my husband, who always keeps supporting me in letting me know what kind of mistakes are there, what kind of complaints are not to be told. Here again, the inner self work helps.
Yeah.
So how do you do inner work, Lakshmi? What exactly I know reflection is a word that you've used pretty often, and I think it's a key part of our program as well. We call it I Reflect, I Envision, because we really feel that if you want to make any change, anything that you want to change within yourself, first step is to have awareness. You need to have an awareness of what your status quo is. Once you are aware of it and you reflect on it, is when you can envision the change that you want to make, right? So that's something that we do regularly. So tell us a little bit about how do you actually make these kind of changes?
Sure. So one thing we do as a couple, myself and my husband, is writing gratitude every day on a journal, and read to each other when our child is there. He knows that this is our routine. We have been following this for now 7-8 months.
That's great. Yeah.
And in between, but I never forced him, nor my husband forced him. Once he did ask that, okay, let me also write the gratitude and share it with you guys. There is a gratitude column, there's a focus for the day, and there are, tasks, the reflection at the end of the day that we write and share with each other to learn what it is from each other.
Why is gratitude important, Lakshmi? I mean, we also
Yes.
like to be promoted all the time, but we'd love to hear from you. What is your takeaway from what does gratitude really do to people?
Yes. Gratitude is the highest form of positivity. Okay, it's about appreciating what we have than complaining what we don't have. This, by appreciating what we have, even as simple, I'll give you examples, reduces our complaints over the period of time. This is a very evident thing. As you practice, you will realize. But you do it with the connect. I'll also share. I'll be very happy to share. And as the complaint reduces, we become action takers.
Yes.
Correct.
Action
it's almost like you're reprogramming your mind to be more action oriented rather than hide behind that whole bag of complaints, right?
Of complaints and criticism.
And that only comes when you have a sense of gratitude, when you are actually more grateful for what you have rather than you focus on what you don't have.
Absolutely.
The reason I was looking back here is because we have a jar as a family. It's a different way that we do our gratitude practice, which is we have a jar, like a dabba as a family, in which every week we try to write one thing that we were grateful for that week and, make it, fold it up and put it in there. And we're excited now at the end of the year when we can open it and see what all we have to be grateful about. So that's the reason why I was turning around, but I don't know where it has gone. It must be outside somewhere.
That's a great idea.
That's
a fantastic idea.
Yeah. So what we do is every day. Yeah, absolutely. So there are, I think, multiple ways of doing. So what we do is every day we write. Initially, they say that there is a study that any habit, takes minimum 21 days to set in. And if you're able to follow any new habit continuously for 21 days, then it sets into your habit. You start your day. For example, we start our day by writing the gratitude and reading to each other. So the day starts with a positive note.
Fab, yeah.
And in fact, I'm happy to share that, I have started a small group called Gratitude with my circle, known or unknown friends circle. And every day, minimum one gratitude, people, whoever, connects, writes in the group. So it is all about when we are action takers, which
is mindfully, right? Consciously and mindfully doing things. Otherwise, like people say, so I'm in my mind, I'm thinking I'm grateful. That's correct. But sometimes when you do it mindfully by actually writing it down, that's when it actually, I think it's kind of like a vibration effect, right? It sort of tunes you into the radio station of happiness because you try to go to that channel.
Very simple. There are a bird couple building a nest in my balcony. We are very happy that it has trusted us and it is building a nest where we are in very close proximity. So we were so happy to express gratitude to the bird. That it's a joy. That's it. I can complain so many things. I have so many issues in my life, but what is there, that we should acknowledge. And if we do that, success, money, everything, fame, everything just follows.
But I'm going to be slightly a devil's advocate, especially with adults. I guess we do have the maturity and we will be able to do that. With children, of course, it's a little bit different in the sense, for example, if they are not doing well in school, right? That's the biggest example you can think of. If they're not doing very well, maybe in sports. Just yesterday, we started our leadership communication program and we asked all our children, tell us one story of failure. And, the one or two kids were very exuberant and very extroverted. And they said, oh, this is what I did. And they started laughing about it. And then the shy kids, they took a little bit of time, but over a period of like 5-10 minutes, they started seeing that, oh, talking about failure is very interesting. It's actually very cathartic. It almost releases a lot of the pressure that you have. So let's talk about failure a little bit. But a child who goes through, say, bullying, or through not doing well in school, or not doing well in sports or extracurricular, is not feeling confident, is not feeling good about themselves. How can they maintain and continue to be grateful? How do we, I know that parents have obviously a big role in creating that environment and that practice. But what advice would you give to children to kind of change this mindset?
Definitely. So again, reflecting from my own child, whom I have observed, still, one thing is for them to empower them with the resilience, the ability to stand up, voice out for the wrong that is happening. They should be able to do. Take help from parents or your teachers or the principal or whomever the child trusts. That is why I say these days, the younger new generation children are wired totally differently. They are very intelligent. They're actually more on the higher, brighter side. So all that they need first is years to listen them without judgment. They are, we are all not born. Maybe we are having the talents already when we are born, but a child has to undergo the childhood, right?
Yeah.
Without
nobody grows up without suffering. Yeah.
Yes. And wrongs happen, failures happen.
Yeah.
But the child, what the strength he needs is at least from the parents. The parents should, I feel that parents, at least who's the closest circle, should trust the child.
Yeah.
I did that mistake initially.
And paying attention to the emotion. That's the first thing that you had mentioned.
Exactly.
And what is the emotion that they are trying to convey? Exactly. Rather than jumping to a solution for them, listen to that emotion that they're trying to convey.
So as parents, step back a bit when the child comes to you with a complaint or any smallest thing. Maybe if it's just a earful, you just open your ears and listen with that non-judgment. You can do that. If there is really a problem, step back and see the broader issue. Don't jump to a conclusion. The problem may be either side.
Right.
Correct. The problem may be either side. Just because it's my son, it doesn't mean that I have to favor my son. If he has really done wrong, I will question him.
Correct.
Question him in the sense, the confrontation also they don't like, the children of this age. So the way, how do you confront? So all these, my child was saying, this book has a beautiful thing. So I'm going to read this book. I've just started reading the book. But he gave a beautiful summary. Yesterday night, we have started reading out aloud with each other. So confrontation doesn't work. It has not worked in my case also, but talking to them, as Deepa says, having conversation, no judgment and listening. This really helps. This is very powerful, Seema and Deepa, that I have realized. Yes. And also making them, empowering them. So coming to the sense of gratefulness, it will come over the time. We have to give them time. Yes. But it's all depends on the environment that they are going to be in. Of course, maybe their own house environment may give that. Their outside may not give. But when they mature, they will learn to accept people what they are. That will be the ultimate thing. But being grateful reduces, slowly they'll see that it reduces the complaints. If we keep on complaining, it's endless.
Correct.
No action will happen. I keep procrastinating. I don't do my work. But in spite of my health issues, for example, I have huge health issues, but I keep going. Why? The work happens and I keep broadening.
And so a lot of the procrastination, because I know procrastination is a word that a lot of children these days use. That, I am lazy, I'm procrastinating, but procrastination is actually not laziness. It's really the underlying emotion under procrastination is actually fear. There is something that you're afraid of. It could be a fear of the outcome of what action you're about to take. That's sort of, you kind of push it off because you know what, it's too hard, or I don't think that I'll be able to handle it, or those kinds of things. So that's again your mindset focusing on the wrong things, on the negative things. You need to fill your brain, your mind, your body, and your consciousness with gratitude, so that then your mindset is reprogrammed to be more positive. That's what.
As simple as a smile. As simple as a smile. It's very powerful. It seems simple. As simple as a smile, doing things. Because I'm wondering now with whatever I'm having, my emotional intelligence mentors that I'm personally undergoing and seeing the effect. the children are all born leaders. Everyone is unique.
Yes.
Everyone has a talent. My marks was very average, but that doesn't determine who I am.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But at
Yeah.
that time, I was hurt. I was guilty. I was fearful. I'm a very extrovert person. As you see, I'm giving so many interviews, so many papers are covering me, but I was nobody in my childhood. Why? I was suppressing myself
Correct.
because someone is saying something. No, I
Yeah.
realized it is me who is putting me down. When I realized, yes, this is Lakshmi, I pat myself every day, whatever I have done. Good, Lakshmi, good job. Children, please do this every day.
Exactly.
Good job. You
Absolutely.
are
You
what
have
you
to
are.
be your own champion. You got to be your own champion. You got to be kind to yourself first. Before you,
Naturally, others will
yeah.
accept that you are kind. They will accept that you are a champion if you accept yourself.
Absolutely.
Correct. Yeah, because we end up being so hard on ourselves, right? Most of the
Yeah.
time, we are so hard on ourselves. And again, the limiting beliefs that sort of lingers around for a long time. So I think having that mindfulness and reprogramming your mind, being conscious, doing things consciously with gratitude, very very good tips, Lakshmi. I'm guessing that that's how you became that environmental sustainability warrior, where to convince others you had to first make a change within yourself, and
Absolutely.
and you continue to champion this cause quite a bit. And I believe you also do a lot of programs in schools. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So my conscious living, course for school children basically is on waste segregation, how to segregate your waste, why you should really segregate your
Why?
waste,
Yeah.
why
Why?
do we need to separate food waste separately, dry waste separately, sanitary waste separately, and where do each waste go? What happens when you mix each waste? Mixed, when mixed, waste cannot be fixed. So these are certain things that, I take it across as a session to the school children, because as I strongly believe in being an instrument to sow the seed of conscious living in the children, because they are the future generation. And
Right. Beautiful, beautifully said, Lakshmi. And we are very excited to kind of work with you a little bit about how we can transfer your knowledge and your passion and your, the ideas that you have about conscious living and about making a change and impacting the change in the world. And we would like to actually, through our medium of imperfect parenting, appeal to a lot of parents that anything, whether it is about the environment or any change that you want to make, it all begins with you first. And
Yes.
that's something that we have learned from our guest today. So thank you so much, Lakshmi, for being part of the show. We are always inspired while we talk to you, and we hope that we'll
Before
be,
we end,
yeah.
one quick thing for our viewers, we will put the links of Lakshmi's books, which are the illustrated. One of them is an
yes,
illustrated children's
one is a
book.
completely my first book is on waste management for children. It's from my own inner child perspective I have written. It's a completely illustrated color book. It's getting published
Beautiful.
in July end or August.
And we are very excited to share that with our students. So our
Yes.
students will be getting copies of those for sure. So we are
Yeah.
very excited that it will be coming out soon. Let us know when the book is
Let
out.
us know when. Yeah.
Definitely. My second book is still under writing process. It's a self-help book for women. Basically, it's a motivation book for women. I would say everyone, but specifically women, because it's my own life of how I was a frog in the well, as they say, how I have bloomed to be a CEO of a company in the leadership role, facing so many people and challenges. I would love to share, because every one of us has the potential.
Correct.
All that we need is to just tap into it and we bloom as a flower.
Yes.
That is my whole humble initiative. Probably by this year end, I hope to release it, or at least early next year, probably.
That
I would
sounds
just like
great.
to
That
tell you
sounds great.
once.
That sounds
One,
great. We are excited actually for your book to come out. And I know one of our products is called My Life, My Way, which is a book that we designed. It's more like an almanac. It's a journal for women to and men to kind of reflect on their own life. But yeah, tell us a little bit more about it, Lakshmi. You were going to say something.
no, I just wanted to end this conversation probably with one, saying that says that we have not inherited this earth from the future generation, but we have borrowed it. So
Correct.
it is in our hands to give it back to them in a more safer, pure way, cleaner way. So that is whole what my passion and purpose is for Prithvimitra. So
Yes.
the sustainability in the environment instilled to go for the sustainability in me. So the sustainable you and the sustainable environment go hand in hand. They are not different.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. That there's such a big link between you and the universe and the world that we are borrowing from the future generation. Thank you, Lakshmi, once again for being on our show. And we are looking forward to more such enlightening conversations with more guests on Imperfect Parenting. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.